Yeah! Hey, I'm John Bohlinger with Premier Guitar. I'm with Triple Threat guitar slinger, hit song singer, hit song writer,
ledge walking,
producing Lee Brice. Worlds colliding right here.
Oh,
Lee, man, thanks for letting Premier Guitar invade your studio space today. I know you're deep in it, making the next record right now.
We are. We're making it a bunch.
Yeah.
And we got the deadline in. They're like, oh, wow, we need to get on it.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to do, a little time, doing a lot of work on the road, too, and in the studio at home.
Oh, this is the hardest working man in show business. If he's not on stage, he's pretty much recording in his bus or here. Sleeps. Nobody's ever seen him sleep. I've been working for 3.5 years. Never seen him sleep.
Well, you have to sleep a couple hours every now and
Yeah, a
then.
couple hours every day. Hey, let's talk about this well-worn guitar right here.
Well, this was like the greatest gift ever given to me. A buddy of mine, Philip Lammons, he was in a band called the Blue Dogs in South Carolina. Okay,
Sure.
South Carolina, he grew up, and it was Edwin McCain was big, Hootie and the Blowfish. They were all kind of from that area. And
Yeah.
the Blue Dogs never were real nationally known, But Philip he's been a songwriter in town a while. He's a South Carolina buddy of mine, and he has all these old acoustics, and he's got all these broken things that still have this mojo about them, and I always loved them. And apparently my wife asked him one day, because she had no idea, but she asked him one day what would be a good wedding present. And so on the day before we got married, we were kind of, I guess the rehearsal dinner, out and having a picnic, and apparently she had called him, and he had been looking around and found this, and he had actually a couple of them come to him in the mail. He ordered a couple because he found them online, and they just didn't have that. He knew I wanted to play it, one that played. That was true, that was true, and because his played well.
Right.
And so it came out the open up the case, and Sarah, this was her gift to me for our wedding day, and it's a 1948.
No wonder you married her.
Yeah,
jeez. Ladies, take note.
It's a 1948. You could tell. I mean, it's been broken and it's been put back together, but it's still.
Oh, it's great.
Has like. In fact, these are still the same strings that were on it. I mean, I kind of decided until they pop, I'm gonna leave them and have that old. If I'm in the studio and I want literally an old dull sound,
right?
I just pick this up.
Yeah, you need a tetanus shot when you pick up that
That's
guitar.
right.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. But
so it's very special to me, and I wrote "I Don't Dance" on it, which was our wedding song.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And when that song of the year, wasn't it? It was a huge super hit.
It's
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, big hit, big super hit came from that. Man, that is great.
Yeah.
What a great story. What a great guitar.
It's my first vintage guitar. It was the first vintage guitar I've ever owned, ever. My first guitar was like, a 1994, but this was in like 1997.
Yeah. Sure.
Telecaster that was bent all to pieces, but this was my first real actual vintage guitar.
Yeah. So that guitar, although it was a gift, ended up costing you a fortune, because then you had to buy all these other vintage guitars.
So I will say I fell in love with that, and I fell in love with the vintage.
Well, that's a good segue to your electric rig.
Yeah.
Shall we plug in your number one?
Yeah, so number one, we can do that. So where do we put this?
Let's give it to, you know what, JD, John Damey right there. Turn
Guitar
around, let
tech.
the people see you.
Guitar tech right here, extraordinaire. He's the man. He takes care of us. He's the reason I'm able to do some of this stuff we're about to talk about, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And then right here,
Here we go. This is the girl.
Yeah.
And so this guitar, I've been doing. I always like to take a minute in our set every time. I've always done it. Take a minute with just me and a guitar. And usually it's always been me and an acoustic. We always called it the acoustic set. And then one day I said, I'd really like to have my acoustic set, just me and my guitar, with a Strat, or a Tele sound, that front pickup, that thing that you could just get away with just you and a guitar.
Right.
And I didn't have a Strat. I just didn't have a Strat. I had a bunch of Teles and I had some other stuff, but I didn't have a Strat. And so I called my good friend Tom Bukovac one day. And I said, hey, Tom, I know you're always looking out and you're always looking around. I said, if you ever see some kind of special Strat, I said, I want something that's special that I can play for the rest of my life, and I was thinking in my head the most beat up thing,
right.
Ever. And well, he says, well, man, I got something. So it was snowing real bad. He couldn't get out of his house. Okay, it was like 3 feet of snow in Nashville. Well, I got a big truck with big tires.
Yeah.
So I drove over to his house in my big truck, and I got there, and he pulled this out, and it didn't look like this. It looked like it came off the wall at Guitar Center.
I remember that. It didn't have it was the cleanest vintage guitar I've ever seen.
It's a 64, early, because it's got the spaghetti logo and all that, and I sat with him for a long time, and I played it, and I was thinking, man, I kind of wanted one that looked old. But then when I played it for a while, I was like, gosh, man, this thing is just screaming my name. It's like singing to me. And then when I talked to you, I'm like, I don't know, would I take it on the road or not? And you're like, well, Lee, it's yours. Are you ever going to sell? I'm like, no.
Yeah,
ever.
right.
I slept with it, like beside me for 6 months. And he said, Lee, you don't need nothing with this guitar. It's just the guitar and the amp. Yeah. He said, you might step on a little slap delay, a little quick slap delay, and that's it. Yeah. He's so simple. And so the guitar is very special, and it makes me happy. Now, it now has stuff on it, like that's my Sharpie marks and stuff, but I guess it's my wear, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's too cool because there are people out there relicing guitars. You're just playing the shit out of that.
Kind of cool. It's like, okay, so I got an old guitar.
Yeah.
That is getting relicked
by you,
but only by me.
Yeah, so. 1 gig at a time. I've personally seen you play that on like 200 gigs at this point.
Every night.
Yeah, every night. Yeah. Yeah, killer, man. Yeah, it's amazing, Yeah, you that just straight into an amp.
Well, the thing about I did for a minute think about, hey man, you know what, this guitar, because I guess at this age it chips and this paint, it comes off so quickly.
Oh, it's 52-year-old nitro.
It comes across, it gets getting beat up. So I said, you know what, maybe I'll find just a good sounding Strat, a new one, and I can beat it up and I won't worry about it. But every one I tried, it just wasn't even in the ballpark. Like it just was so bright and so, and I couldn't find one. I could turn the tone all the way down on one of those old ones, and it just wouldn't sound anything like this guitar.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on maybe finding something, but this is the one.
That's going to be a tough one to beat. Because every night, whenever there's been a few times when Lee has switched out a different guitar, and I'll be behind steel, and I can't really see what he's playing, but I'll hear it and I'll think, oh, that's not the 64.
That's not the 64.
Yeah, and then I feel kind of, you just feel a little defeated, because it's not the same thing.
No, it's not. But we're working on trying to find some old pickups on a new guitar, but it just ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna be this. But anyway, this was my first vintage electric guitar.
Yeah.
And the tone that I loved what I had here, and it's only got 3 switches, because of the year. It doesn't have the 5. So I learned that you got to balance it if you want that.
Yeah.
You know, you got to balance it, blah, blah, blah. And I like that.
Yeah.
You know, I dig that. And so
that's my 66. I still got the three-way. I love
the
that.
three-way.
Yeah.
So we started to make a record when I got this guitar. I said, I want a guitar. That was one of the reasons I was looking for one. I wanted to have a guitar, one sound on this record to kind of keep this record flowing and have a thread through it.
Right.
So, not that I played all of the electric on the guitar, but I wanted to be on everything, whether it's a simple track or a solo or a sig lick or something that with this sound. And you know, so I said I want to keep it consistent, and so the guitar was consistent, you know, depending on what you do. And then we decided to figure out our amp situation.
Yeah.
Well, we were like, okay, we got to get the amps, but then I record in my house and I record somewhere else and I record here, and I'm thinking,
right.
So then we heard about the Kempers. You know? And the Kemper can basically take, well, you know, whatever amp that you want to play, and it puts it in a box, and you can take it with you, you know?
Right, to have that resource wherever you go, because you are recording everywhere.
Everywhere, and the truth is, you know, you would think, and for years, I mean, it's just not as good if you try to model your amp, or if you try to use a modeling thing, which the Kemper is a modeling tool. But this thing does it is a different thing. You have to play for like a minute and a half. It soaks it in. It somehow it does what it does. So I Kempered this little setup here.
So what is, this is the coolest amp. Look at this thing.
It's Analog Outfitters, okay?
Yeah.
It's a little company that basically, so this is all the electronics, the guts out of an organ, like an organ Leslie.
Cool.
And so right here, they use all recycled parts. So they'll go find an old one that doesn't work, and they use the pieces that do work.
Yeah.
They put together, and so it's just got a thing, right?
Yeah.
And they put it in a box, and you carry it around like a lunch box. They put a license plate on it. They'll find an old license plate. It's funny because my first cousin, I grew up, and they're Hicks. Al Hicks. So
yeah, I believe probably all your cousins are Hicks.
Good one.
We're friends. We joke. Yeah.
So it's funny. I was like, okay, will this really work? So we Kempered this thing.
Yeah.
Through this.
Through proprietary.
Through this, you know, just a cabinet, and so then you go to play it back through the PA, through the speakers, and you say, well, does it really sound the same? The same.
Should we do a little taste test right now?
And it you know. You know?
Okay, that's a killer amp. Should we do the switch?
Good amp, good thing. Let's do a switch.
Okay, JD.
So here's the deal. So same cabinet, same mic, and this is pretty much literally this. So it says LB Analog.
Yeah.
Analog Outfitters. So it's the same amp, and now we did Kemper it through two different cabinets too as well.
Yeah.
But for the most part. So this is not coming through this head anymore. This is just coming through this Kemper that memorized what that head is. So this microphone knows no difference. It's going into the Pro Tools or whatever it is you're recording to, and it's getting the same thing. There's no pedal board or nothing here. We're just doing it, you know.
Right.
But it's crazy that it has that much.
And the amazing thing live is because, I mean, there's all those different factors. If your mic is slightly different, if, you know, whatever, and all that, it takes all that away.
That was the biggest thing. So I was, first of all, able to take the guitar, the exact amp through this, and anywhere I went, play it on the record and take what I played on the record and take that exact same sound and take it to the road and hit play and go. And it's exactly what I was playing on the record. So I might be playing a little different because that's what you do live. You get on it.
Yeah.
But the sound of it is going to be familiar because it is the same amp. It is the same head. It's not like I went and got some 60s this or that or some vintage head, did something and it's changed and it's just playing the same part. It's the same amp.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, and when you think about it, at this point, everything is just ones and zeros anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just getting a great representation of that. Yeah. How many amps did you end up profiling? Did you, okay, you've got this old Princeton too.
Yeah, we have this, and we did a big black face. We did big cabinets. We probably profiled 3 or 4 or 5 different things right in here. We had them all lined up.
Yeah.
And we decided on our tone. What we wanted.
Right.
And this little thing actually just had a little bit of something that we hadn't heard before, in other words. So all those other classics, they sounded great. But for this record, I was like, well, I kind of dig, this sounds kind of as good as those, but it has a sound I haven't really heard before. So we wanted to, I figured, let's do that. Let's be original and have a little bit of different sounds. Yeah. And so that's why we kind of chose this rig.
That's too cool. Man, what was that, okay, on your last album, when you were playing that 335 through, on that,
oh yeah, that was a big blackface, and that was we were at Blackbird basically.
Okay.
And that was on the last record. This is before I got the Kemper.
Did you end up profiling that tone?
I didn't profile that.
Because that was a killer tone. Buy that record.
Actually, no, we brought that actual amp in here.
Okay, and you did profile?
We did. We profiled that amp, okay? But I was playing a 335 through it, and it had a magic on that thing. But that wasn't the guitar I wanted to play on this record for the most part. I wanted to kind of...
Different vibe.
This is a Southern rock, Americana kind of thing. So this thing, not overdriven a bunch, just kind of clean and just real is kind of the sound I wanted to, it ain't the loudest thing on the whole record, but it... I got a couple moments there where it's pretty cool, and
Lee,
I ain't a player. I try to sing a little bit every now and then.
Man, you're a great guitar player. I mean, I think it's all about like your melodies that you find. Like I might know more shit, but I would never think of that stuff.
Hey, 10 more shit.
But I would never. I can never play anything like as cool as the stuff you come up. And it's just having great ideas. So.
Well, and it was really cool. So, like, you're able to move it out to live, and like you said, one of the biggest things that Kemper is kind of cool because same sound every night, no matter what venue you're at, and so it quickly spread through the band. Even through some of the naysayers like Travis.
Yeah, cool. We'll be talking to soon. Yeah.
He's purist. Guitar into the amp, which you still cannot beat that when you're sitting beside an amp.
Yeah,
you can't do that with that because. You tweak this a number or half a number and you tweak that, there's a whole nother tone there.
Right.
And you can do that with the Kemper, but not like you can do this. But when you're live, and you're just going every night with the same thing, to have it so clean in your ears, stereo.
Right.
Well, and it's really cool.
That one little tweak might be the wrong direction in your tone. I mean, how many times you've been plugged in?
Then it might not be the right thing.
Yeah.
And on stage, the less stage noise you got, the better you can really get the sound out front. Even though you want it to sound good on the stage, which it does.
Yeah.
You really want it to sound better out front.
Right. That ultimately that's all.
So the drums get bigger because there's less noise. Mm-hmm. Everything gets bigger because there's less noise.
And you really find your frequency. It seems like that frequency.
And it makes you play better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it does.
It's cleaner.
Yeah.
But
hey, now I know you had one other guitar that you're playing on the record and playing live.
It's another. It's actually another Bukovac story.
Yeah, let's see. Let's hear this thing.
So, Tom was kind of like, man, I think I'm gonna hit the road a little bit. I'm gonna sell a few guitars. I got that Tele I've been playing for years and on the studio.
Yeah.
I go.
I've seen Tom play that before. Right?
And I said, well, let me come see it. But this guitar, man. And this guitar, what it did immediately was straight into the amp, and it popped off of the monitors, like the studio monitors. And there's a reason why he'd been playing it in the studio.
Right.
Because it just, whatever this guitar had, it's just got the thing for the monitors, for that speaker. So
This
this is a 55.
all stock 55.
Everything is there, you know.
Crazy thing about that. See how, okay,
Yeah.
back then, originally,
Yeah.
Leo put that mustache, or that ashtray over this. Because
Which
if you-
still comes in Fender guitar cases.
Yeah, yeah. No, nobody uses them because you can't really mute with them.
Well, yeah, because it's here and you would just be going,
Yeah, yeah.
can't.
Yeah, yeah. But Leo put it on there because these things gouge your hands. I mean, it like does damage. You will bleed after playing this guitar.
Well, people like you and Travis and stuff can look at a guitar like this and go, and that catches your eye. You know,
Yeah.
that wouldn't catch my eye so fast.
No,
You know,
but
I
it
see a
catches
Telecaster,
catches your hand.
catch your
though.
hand. You know, like why is that? But this is a kind of like I got two guitars that are two electrics that are kind of my babies, and
Yeah.
and these are them. And the reason I wanted to tell you is because I got a couple Teles that I've grown up writing on. You know, because a Telecaster for me is, I started writing with electrics and little you know. Practice amps.
Yeah.
You know, you can get them to kind of feel like a whole band is around you
Right.
instead of just an acoustic guitar
Yeah.
in a room. And so a Telecaster, and I've tried everything, all the electrics you can think of. And none of them write like a Tele does. And I guess it's because they were made to kind of just play and not necessarily just do all the little things. Like they were made to play like an acoustic almost. So it just, you can bear down on it and
Right.
it gives you a rhythm and a groove.
And
So
you usually
that's what I love.
run 11s, right? 11 through
Yeah.
11 through 48. So
Yeah.
stouter
On this.
strings.
On
Yeah.
this one, yeah,
Yes.
I do. And because it just plays more like an acoustic rather than, you know,
Yeah.
an Eddie Van Halen, you know,
Right.
8s or 9s, you know, like in my big old fingers, my heavy hands.
Yeah.
I can't hardly play a guitar like that, not an electric, because, you know,
Oh yeah, they would crumble.
yeah, they just,
You would bludgeon that thing. He's got this sledgehammer right hand, man. Yeah.
yeah, this one's swollen, got a dog bite on it.
Yeah.
It's swelling up a little bit. But that one, you're like, really? Because your other finger looks just about this big.
yeah. So yeah, share that figure. That's what
yeah.
a bridge could pretty much do that. That bridge could do that.
Yeah, well.
So did you write? Okay, you wrote Garth Brooks, that huge hit, More Than a Memory. Huge. I think it was his biggest, quickest, longest #1. Did you write that on an electric?
I wrote that. I did write. Well, I wrote the chorus on an electric. I wrote the verses on an acoustic. But more importantly, after that song came out, you know, he was my ultimate hero.
Right.
Okay, since I was able to, since I got on a radio beside my bed when I was 11. you know.
Right. Yeah.
Ultimate hero, come to town, write a song about my total personal story that I was going to cut, and then my hero calls, and then it goes #1 in 1 week. It breaks records. It debuts at
Huge.
#1 and does all this stuff. And then I meet him at the #1 party. Then he remembers me. And then I've seen him a few more times, and now he pretends he's my buddy when he sees me. he's so awesome.
Great guy.
You know,
Yeah.
and so we had a show. Well, I say we had a show. There was a charity event this past year, and it was a songwriter round, a long one, and I found myself sitting there with Bobby Braddock, myself, Jesse Alexander, and Garth Brooks on 4 stools
Yeah.
for 4 hours.
Boy, that's a.
And
stiff
guess who
competition.
had to follow? Garth.
Oh, sorry.
Song. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going, what's going on here? It was an amazing night. You know, a lot of stories could be told from that night. Mind blown a bunch from everybody. We had some really cool moments, and we were leaving the show that night, and Garth was up there just jamming away on his, you know, his Garth guitar.
Signature talk,
you know? And we're leaving, okay? Everybody's done. We've been taking pictures it was a charity event, so we're just off the stage taking pictures of people, back on the little stage, kind of get to going towards the back, still a bunch of people around Garth. I'm kind of standing there trying to get through, and Garth looks over and he's like, he's got people on him. He's like, hey Lee, and he's got his, you know, his guitar, his case guitar in his hand. It's like, hey Lee, can you hold this for a second, you know? I'm like, yeah. And I'm standing there, you know, holding the guitar, waiting, watching. People are taking pictures. He's like, yeah, and he's talking. I'm standing there for like 5 minutes. And at some point, okay, I know you're Garth, I love you. But I'm like, hey dude, like, Garth, what do you want me to do with this guitar? Like, can I go put it over here? And like, I got to go. I got people too. I got to go. Yeah. And so he's like, hey, he goes, oh yeah. He goes, hey, just go play the hell out of it. And I was like, you are kidding me. So there's this Garth model guitar that he has played for 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
We've been there signing autographs for an hour, and he just gives me this guitar.
That's too great.
And not just the guitar. Like, I get in there, right? And first of all, it's got a big sticker on it called The Plane, which means that's his flight rig guitar. It's got, you know, guitar straps, like the whole deal.
All the case candy.
Tuners. Yeah. Everything he needs to go play an acoustic gig.
Yeah.
Everything is in there. Everything. Tuner, everything. So he wasn't just trying to go, hey man, here's my little...
Right.
This was his guitar that keeps on the road, you know, and whatever. But this is, you know, where's it at? It ain't around here. We didn't bring it. But gosh, it's...
That's great.
It's a story. It's like, I play it. I go, I'm going to play it. I ain't scared to play it.
Yeah.
Nobody else will play a Garth guitar, I guess, but he's my buddy, so I'll play it.
Yeah.
He's my buddy. Yeah, right.
That's too cool, man. Well, man, Lee, can't thank you enough.
Man,
I know you've got a record to finish, but...
We do.
But thanks a million,
Dude,
amigo.
Thank you for having me, and this is exciting, man. I get to watch you all the time on here, and I was like, come on, man, when do I get to come talk to you? Thank you, brother.
Till next time. That is Too Tall, Travis Bettis on the guitar. Travis has been Lee Brice's guitar player for how long? Like
10 years in a month.
Wow, man.
Yeah, man.
Travis, I've learned more guitar stuff in the 3.5 years I've been with you guys. I've learned more guitar stuff from this dude. It makes me really glad I'm just playing pedal steel on this gig, because he kicks my ass every night.
You say that, but
it's true. But enough of this. Let's talk about your rig.
Cool.
Why don't we start with that guitar?
All right, this was a Craigslist find for me. 65 SG Jr.
Oh man.
All original except for the hardware, which I had Dusty over at Gibson. Our boy Dusty Loomis.
Yeah, at the Gibson Artisan Restoration.
In Nashville. And took the original tuning keys off, threw everything in the case, so I have all the stuff. But
Grovered it out. Love the Grovers.
Put some Grovers on it just because it stays in tune, a new nut. Just took care of the frets. It's all original, but smoothed them over. Original pickup. Stop tail, no intonation. It is what it is, man.
But you know, man.
If it's out of tune, bend it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it sounds amazing. And it's, I mean, I don't know. You had that thing I was playing this weekend, and it was so dialed in.
Yeah, what's crazy to me is you don't have a lot to work with So volume for me is always on 10.
Yeah.
And then, but the tone pickup is just really where the guitar stands out, with the tone all the way down. Tone up on 3, I can play rhythm. And then
Right.
wide open tone. You know,
It's great.
pretty all over the place.
Now, what year is this guitar again?
This is a 65.
Well, you see, here's a big deal. Gibson, they started making the juniors, what, in like 54?
54. Yeah.
And if you look at those old juniors, where they place that bridge is so off, man. I mean, it's like the treble's way up like that, and they rarely are in tune. So there's been, like Joe Blazer made a new bridge that works really well.
And what's odd is, I mean, this bridge is in the original place that it was.
Well, they dialed it in by the mid 60s. They changed it, and luckily you got one of the really good ones.
Yeah, and I really just dig the simplicity of it.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's nothing really to hide behind.
Right.
You just turn it up and play.
Boy, and
your tone knob is your only variable.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And there's something about that when you quit thinking about stuff like that, it just makes you dig in and play.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, moving on from the guitar.
Oh no, let's talk. Hold on, let's talk about
go over some more guitars.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Travis first on tour, he rolls with.
I only have 10.
Yeah, only has 10 on tour.
For the 15 song set or 12 song set list, 10 guitars.
Yeah.
And there's only one backup out of all 10. They all do get used.
Yeah.
Keeping JD, our tech, working.
JD, want to do a cameo?
Yeah.
Well, you did a cameo earlier. We got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He considers it job security.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's move over just to this custom funky boy here.
Oh yeah, that's great.
This is a Bad Bart custom. Bad Bart is a builder and painter, hot rod kind of painter, motorcycle dude, and does really cool work. This is a parts guitar that he throws together and then just decks them out and puts any wiring you want in them with anything you could imagine. And I drew the dragon and tiger on a piece of paper. Looked like a third grader drew it. Yeah. And I sent it to him and said, hey, make me something cool. I have no clue why. I don't care about dragons or tigers. And he came back with this. And just super cool guitar, really nice playing Strat.
Reminds me of
a
Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's I don't know why I wanted it, man. I just did.
I love it.
It was honestly just because there's so much on it. On a big stage, people can't tell what the heck it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Until maybe one or two people in the crowd see it closely and they go, wow, that's really cool.
Well, remember when we were playing The Voice and you're playing a Bad Bart? And
I was playing this one.
Yeah, and they said, hey, what is that? I'm not sure we can show it.
We had to call Bad Bart, fax him a document that he had to sign.
A disclosure or whatever,
because they said that it was considered a piece of art, which I bet he takes as a compliment.
Oh, sure,
you know? And it's got wolf tone pickups in it out of Washington State.
Huh.
And other than that, it's just your basic Strat. Some pretty cool.
An angry Strat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Stratty as it gets, man.
Right. Yeah, that's a very cool guitar.
And he does really cool work with your pick guards is one of his cool things. Using a CNC, you know, he can cut out any crazy thing. And if you look closely, this pick guard, it just goes right here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it disappears. Where there is a pick guard, there's no pick guard.
Yeah.
It's just holding in the electric stuff, that's it.
Yeah, that's too cool.
Yeah, and he says that that's my name in some language. I have no clue what it says.
You know, actually, in Mandarin it says, gullible white boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't thank him enough, though. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
And, he's built Lee a couple that are on the way, and I've got another one, a Les Paul, that he built for me. That's an outer space design.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of my favorite guitars.
That's a great guitar. Well, we got to see if he can make a pedal steel. That's
he can do it.
Yeah.
Or you
well,
can paint it.
Let's look at this.
Yeah, man.
This one.
This is your old Black Beauty.
Yeah.
This is a 90s guitar.
Now, you got that when you were a kid, right?
I got this when I think I had just moved to Nashville. Wasn't such a kid at the time.
Well, you're 18, 19?
Yeah, probably 18 or 19.
That's a kid.
Maybe. You know, and the truth is,
Yeah.
I didn't buy this guitar. My dad, Big Al, down in Houston,
A great guitar player in
Yeah.
his own right.
he got this from his bass player, Dr. Rocket, Rock Romano, Houston legend. And so, yeah, it's called Dr. Rocket.
Yeah.
And don't know exactly what year it is. 90s custom shop, pretty awesome. And I really like. I've got several Les Pauls with the humbuckers and PAF relics and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And my dad's got some real PAFs and some really old guitars.
Yeah.
But I just love the way this thing.
Oh, yeah, man.
The
That-
P90s is really one of my favorite pickups.
And that staple
Yeah.
thing in the neck.
Well, you want to get clean and loud.
Right.
That's got some wicked low end on it.
Yeah. Pretty
cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, with Les Pauls, I am really guilty of forgetting that there are knobs there. Everything goes all the way to the right
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
That's just, and Lee loves the warm tone. He loves rolling that tone knob back. I don't need knobs.
Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer everything all the way up. And
Yeah,
just
the
go with
only
it,
thing
man.
you jack with is that
Yes.
that junior.
Because it's all you can do.
Yeah.
You know, give me a whole bunch of knobs and you're going to see me never touch it. And that's how I prefer my amplifiers.
Right.
Lee was talking earlier about being a purist. Man, I grew up playing in blues jams with my dad would throw me on stage at a young age. And there is no sound check or messing with all this crap down here, you know. It was literally, here's a guitar. Okay, there's your amp. And to get your distortion, you just turn the amp all the way up. You know.
Yeah, the Bettis family crest is knobs right.
That's it. That's the signature, man.
That is their battle cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget when I first joined Lee. I had just a couple guitars, but I played this old Les Paul that I got when I was in high school. Les Paul Special, you know,
Yeah.
flat top,
Right.
worn to hell, and listened to his record and was like, man, there's all this. Guitars have so much space and stuff on them, so I got a delay pedal. Don't even know what it was, and then I bought a tube screamer. And my pedal board was a 2x4 with a tube screamer and delay pedal and a tuner. And
Yeah.
that was it, man. And we did CMA Fest and all that. Moved on since then, but
you've got
in reality,
crazy gear.
my rig is very simple-minded, though. I've built it to where anybody that knows anything about a couple of things could get up and play my rig.
right, which is a good segue.
Sure.
Let's talk about your
man.
talk about your Kemper,
Okay.
which
Same-
you've made likely
Yeah.
you've made the switch over to.
For 8 years, I was against anything going direct in, you know. Snickered backstage at people that played them.
Sure, yeah.
And then Lee kept talking about them and pushing them and worked with them in the studio and all that. However, the amps I played for years on the road, I went through Dr. Z's, Marshall's, Fenders, ended up on P3 amplifiers built in Nashville by Kai Kennedy.
yeah.
And my favorite amps I've ever owned, and I bought 3 of them. Well, I used to run 2 of them in stereo through 412 cabs with creambacks, you know, awesome crank and sound, and we loved it. Took the Kemper home, profiled it in my house, profiled one P3 with the EL34s, kind of like a little Marshall.
Yeah.
And as soon as I pulled that profile 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, and I heard the tone with the effects, what going direct takes your effects to another world.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're not playing with speakers and air. You're getting that, and let's be honest, we're using digital effects, you know? So it really, really goes well together.
Yeah, to hear pristine effects in your ears in a stereo mix is
And I had to
glorious.
sit down in rehearsal that day and redo all my 8 years of effects that I've gotten used to. Had to retweak all of them because the trails on the delay are longer. The actual feedback and the level of delay was mind-blowing. And started using the ping pong left and right delays. Man, I'll tell you, get you a stereo delay, ping pong left and right through a Kemper, and put your in-ears in, and it'll give you vertigo. It's really cool.
Yeah, actually, your tremolo setting.
Yes, we can.
It does make me a little seasick.
Moving from, well, with the Kemper, what I basically did is I profiled those P3s, and I'm using the profile remote, which I have kind of just dummied down to 5 tones, and that's it, and it goes from clean to dirty. Because I didn't want to have pre-programmed patches and all that kind of stuff for a live show. I'm so used to a normal pedal board, like 99% of guitar players.
Right.
So all I do is go from clean to dirty. I can switch it in the middle of a song. I'm not going to lose any of my effects that are already on. So it's essentially a normal pedal board that you would gig in a bar with.
So show me your signal chain. You go, you start running into the Ernie Ball.
The signal chain's real simple. It's going to go in your volume, of course, goes out to the tuner, delay to effects pedal, and that's it.
This line
is separate.
6.
This is separate, so this is just changing the tone of your amps.
Yeah.
But there's really not a whole lot of stuff that the guitar signal is going through.
And so your line 6 and your boss delay go into the effects end?
Yes, into the effects loop. There's a stereo effects loop, and you in the Kemper, in this patch here, you patch in a stereo effects loop, and that way you can actually use outboard effects.
Yeah. Hey, show a couple of these
bad
boys.
And starting off with, this is just your basic old trusty blue line 6, which I don't even know if they still make. I think we had to order one that was new old stock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're great, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one, and my glitch with it is that
you
do hear I mean, they are not transparent. You engage them and you're gonna hear a change.
Yeah.
At least
and
mine.
No, it's true. You have to really sit there and work with this mix and try to get your levels right too.
Yeah. That's what drove me crazy. That's why I eventually gave it up. But
luckily
great.
I only use I don't even use that much of this stuff, honestly. I use the tremolos and choruses on a couple of the ballads.
Yeah.
But I start the song with that effect on, and I don't stray from it for the rest of the song.
Right, because once you're committed.
Then I can work my volume and know where I sit in the mix.
Yeah.
So starting on the left, you just got your funky old roto.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff. This is a real subtle, slow chorus. Pretty subtle tremolo here. And then this slow trim here is really cool if you have your in-ears in and in stereo, because it is a stereo tremolo that's going super slow.
That one makes me a little seasick.
That'll make you nauseous, man. The first time it hit me, I don't know what this is, but I like it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like a bad buzz.
Yeah. And then I'm using the Giga delay, the DD20 by Boss. Real simple, 4 different delays you can choose from. I run an external tap so that I don't waste this spot. This is your on-off, and then I can bank between these 4.
Oh, okay. So
in my head, I literally have this programmed in my head, is idiot-proof as it can be. Left, starting in the beginning, is just little delays. The farther right you go, the more delays you get.
That's a good way to do it.
It's so simple.
I've messed with them before and tried to use the proprietary tap, and I never could.
Yeah, you got to run an external tap, and I've gone through every tap too.
Yeah.
The button itself is really important. A metal button, you're going to get clicks. You're never going to get on time. So I went and got the FS5U, whatever, keyboard thing, basically.
Right.
And it's so soft that it's the only one that I've found to be true. And you don't hear any taps. And you got to look down during the show, listen to your drummer every now and then. I may fix my tap.
Right.
But starting at the beginning, you got simple,
Yeah.
little more. This is probably the most used one, is my third. And then this one's just a longer one. And I like that the volume pedal doesn't cut your delays off.
Yeah, yeah, you keep those trails going.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I got some, well, we talked about the pedal board itself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, pretty cool board.
Yeah, I have the same one, a smaller one. But yeah, this is the DBFX by, what is it, Go-To Technologies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our buddy Kent Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
customer service at its best. The dude will come to a show, fix something, build you something, bring you something.
Well, and that is pretty badass.
And he stitched in our band's name, the Love Cannons.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
With some cool lights. And that's cool because, you know, the stages that we play are 6 foot tall, so you're at eye level, and people can actually see it.
Well, and on a dark stage, it is a nice reference to find your board.
Yeah, it is. And be honest, like, I'd probably be lost without these cheap little antenna lights here.
Yeah.
But because you know what it's like when you got strobe lights in your face for 10 minutes and then it goes pitch black, you can't see your hand in front of your face. I look down for this little beacon. This is my lighthouse.
Good idea. You know? I don't have that, but I get why you would.
I've heard you fall.
Yeah. Stumble. Yeah. Well, Trav.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, amigo. That was great.
Thanks for having me.
Till next time.
Hey, John, that's a funny looking guitar you got going on here, man. What is this?
Hey, my worlds collided.
Weird worlds colliding here. We got, obviously, you know, John can't interview himself, so we set up some cameras. We got Adam the tech running camera. He's helping out a ton.
That's right, my guitar tech, Adam over there. Thank you, Adam. Adam is actually the guy who usually sets this stuff up.
I don't envy him. There's way too many strings on this guy.
Lots of stuff. Should I tell you the basics?
Man, yeah, let's walk. You know, it's a guitar. It's a guitar that most people probably won't recognize. So tell them how it works, man.
Well, this is a Show Pro made by Jeff Surratt here in Nashville. Just a killer. Jeff is a great steel player in his own right, but he started long ago. He's kind of fixing these show buds and began making these amazing pedal steel guitars. And I've owned maybe like 10 guitars, 10 steels in my life, and this is the best one I've ever owned.
What is better about it?
Well, just everything works right. I mean, there's so many moving parts. This one has 4 pedals and then 5 knee levers,
which need to be intonated, right? I mean, you have to kind of you have to tweak them to get them to pull correctly, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's fine tuners on the ends, but Jeff just makes great guitars, and not only do they function really well, but the tone is just killer. So I just got this a little while ago and couldn't be happier with it.
Yeah, man, this thing looks like a Cadillac. It's beautiful.
Oh, man, and the gold.
The gold is too cool.
I'm a total gold top guy, so, you know, having a gold steel is awesome. So I love it. It's a standard E9 tuning, and just a killer guitar.
Man, it sounds gorgeous.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of pickup he uses? I mean...
I don't, but I know one really cool thing about it. Down here he has a magic switch, which I can rarely find, which goes from single coil to humbucker. So that's a single coil, and see how it's got kind of an old-timey deal to it?
Does it tone like a old Hank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of got an old-timey
it feels like that, yeah.
vibe to it. So very cool. That's a cool little addition that I don't really use that often, mainly because Lee is I think that more subtle stuff, that single coil old timey tone is not the best.
So you go Buckers full on for that smooth, real noiseless.
Yeah, I like kind of a lot of bottom end and all that in it. So, but it's an amazing guitar. Jeff makes just great steel. So, I love this thing.
So you're running through this Vibroverb with a 115?
Right. Well, amp-wise, it's pretty cool. Here's what I have. I've got a 1964 Vibroverb, which is just stock, which when I was a kid in junior high, I guess when I was a sophomore in high school, my parents bought me a Vibroverb from Hanson Music in Billings, Montana, I think for $125. And a 64, and I had no idea how cool it was.
You sold it, didn't you?
Yeah, oh, it gets worse.
Oh, no.
I traded it broke, and I couldn't fix it, and it was old and grouchy, so I traded it for a PV solid state bass head.
Wow.
For my then wife, who was a bass player. So, baby, you were worth it, but damn, I wish I had that amp.
That one stings, huh?
Yeah, so I bought this one, and I paid more money than I ever thought I would pay for it.
I was going to say, what did nostalgia cost you on that one?
Oh,
huh?
I can't even talk about it. I'm ashamed how much I spent. But I had to do it. I got back part of my youth, and it's awesome. And then along with that, I'm running this Trenton Valve Train amp, which is just a killer, new amp.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
Sure. And that's, I'm guessing, running at 12, right?
Yeah, and so I've got a 15 JBL and a 12 in that, and it's a great combination. And I really love low watt amps. But for steel, they don't keep up. Like I've got a great Supro, I've got a great Nace that I really love.
You need the headroom, huh?
Yeah, kind of need, because you want to be able to get loud and not lose
Not
that.
break up.
Yeah.
All that.
So running that is a better way to go. So I sometimes run one amp, sometimes two, just kind of depends. But
Now, was the Vibroverb, when it came out, it originally had a 15 in it. Was that something that was like more geared towards steel players?
Yeah, you know what? Steel players played them a lot. In fact, my original one was owned by a steel player, and it had like a guy who played it in bars forever, and had cigarette
Like burn
burns
holes all over the Tolex?
over the Tolex. It was great.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you got a little piece of your childhood
Yeah,
back. That's
right,
cool.
right.
That you're actually still using it. That's
Yeah.
kind of full circle, huh?
Yeah, full
Weird.
circle. Yeah.
And then tell me about the pedal setup you got going
Well,
on.
it's a pretty modest pedal board. The one weird bit, as you can probably see here, I run two tuners because I've got this Peterson tuner that, my signal starts with this.
Volume?
Yeah, with this is the Dunlop volume pedal, and I run the tuner out to this combination of tuners, and Adam could probably tell you better than me, but I run, I think, into the Peterson, is that right? Yeah, run into the Peterson. The Peterson gives me this tempered tuning sweetener, so I run into that, and then I run out of that into a Boss TU2, and the reason I do that is when I start, because there's no frets, I like to, when I'm swelling into a note, know my reference. So when I hit an A, I want to know it's an A before
sure.
I start. So with my tempered tuning Peterson,
Does it give you a little wiggle room? So it's,
yeah. Well, that is absolutely a 440. With this, because because it has a sweetener tuning, it's not going to be to that note.
Aha.
So it gives me a visual clue once I'm playing of where I am, because when you're a steel and you start a song cold, you
you are at the mercy of that thing being in perfect tune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really helps to just have that reference.
Sure.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, and that was kind of a big game changer when I figured that out. I really like having two tuners. From there, signal's pretty easy. I run into this. I run directly into this Ross compressor, which I've had since.
That looks old.
Oh, I've had it since 8th grade. It's
Wow.
the first pedal I ever bought.
A compressor, huh?
Yeah, at Hanson Music in Billings, Montana. And it was used when I got it. Turns out they're highly collectible today. I had no idea.
Go figure. Weird. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, I love that. From there, I run into this heavy blues Gary Moore stomp box by by Dr. No, who we reviewed one of their
funky wah pedals. It
funky wah pedals.
Looks like a superhero or something. Yeah, Dr. No makes some crazy looking stuff. Huh?
But it's great, man.
Is it just a little drive or?
Well, it just gives you like some dirt. You know, it's
a little country honk.
Yeah, like I can get it dirtier, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Subtle but beautiful.
Yeah. Kind of violin-like.
Yeah, it does. It has that monophonic kind of singy thing.
Yeah.
And then look at you with the Phase 90 there.
Right, with the Van Halen Phase 90. I usually leave it on
Real
a
low
script.
setting, huh?
Yeah, all the way down. And together with this, it's really cool, you know. You know, just.
And that's so subtle, that phase, that it almost gives it like a in and out of a cocked wah kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's for that kind of Wayland deal. It's pretty neat, you know.
So Wayland,
yeah,
way cool.
Pretty cool. Other than that, I've got a. Let's see. From there, it goes to this DD5, which I've got mainly. It's really handy for like a dotted thing.
Cool.
You know, that's cool. I'm using this MXR
Tiny Tap
with that, which I think is, I love it. I had the Boss one, and I've had a couple of those that just disintegrated. This one is bulletproof.
Those tough, yeah.
And quiet and small, so
Tiny.
it's great. Then I've got this MXR Verb that is really just lush. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the secret weapon is this weirdo Ibanez echo shifter, which gives you all these just crazy, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That thing must get away from you a little bit if you're not careful, huh?
Totally.
Oh, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Yeah. I want to end every song like that.
Just spaced out, yeah.
Yeah.
Too cool.
I will play the spaced out card every chance I get.
Hey, man, it always sounds good.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
And let's see, other than these are Dunlop picks that some of them I've had for like 10 years. And
you managed to keep those finger picks that long?
Yeah.
Because I can't keep a pick to save my life. I guess if it's going right back in your case or something, you know.
Yeah. Dunlop picks, and I either use Dunlop or John Pierce slides, you know, but yeah, kind of medium. I don't know. Works for me.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, you're not only playing steel in this show, you play some other instruments as well,
I play
right?
mandolin. In fact, I happen to have one right here.
Let's take a look. What do we got?
Let's take a look. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got this happy little fellow. Sorry, I probably shouldn't turn my back to the camera. Yeah, it's a Weber.
Have a seat. Let's.
And this is a Weber. What is it? The Bighorn, I think. Yeah, which is Weber is made in my home state of Montana, or was. They've just been recently purchased by two old hippies. Now they're in Bend, Oregon. But this is one that Bruce Weber made a few years ago.
Nice
but it's
and barky.
just, oh yeah, man, and just sweet. You know, just sweet. Been playing for my daughter all the time.
Yeah, so you're getting used to the
yeah, like kid songs. And I've got
that is surprisingly loud. I don't know if you guys are super familiar with mandolins, but sometimes a less expensive mandolin, you pick it up and it doesn't bark. It's not loud.
There's nothing there. Yeah.
But that thing, like no amp, just.
Yeah, and this was, Bruce or one of his guys just carved this thing out of wood. So it's...
scroll is flawless.
Yeah.
No, I got to ask, I'm sure you guys, it's like the first thing you see. when you have a mandolin that costs more than both of our cars put together.
Oh yeah.
What happened? Oh God, that makes me want to cry.
Yeah, just high mileage, man. You just
happens,
you know,
huh?
they're not made to be. I mean, they're made to be played.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Certainly a player for sure.
Yeah, high miles. And also, it comes with a proprietary pickup, but I put a Bags on, and this Bags pickup, which just sticks right on there, is amazingly accurate.
I gotta say that's kind of a weird placement for the pickup. Does it
Well, I put it in myself, so it might be the wrong place.
I don't know how Mando pickups work on external pickups like this, but
yeah, I tried it on a few different places, and it seemed like I was
the
getting the
spot.
best balance right there. I literally had it like plugged into an amp and was running headphones, and it would kind of hit it, and that seemed like the place.
are there songs where you're playing steel and Mando in the same song where you're having to switch?
No, but there's one where I'm playing banjo and steel too, where I'm playing, and Adam, who's behind the camera right now, he'll hand me one, we'll do the
whole
switch.
shuffle truffle?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's but
Fun.
fun.
Yeah, fun.
It's all fun. So yeah, those are the basics, man.
Hey, well that sounds great, man. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Harry, my pleasure.
This is interesting.
Well,
Cool.
till next time, amigo.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.